rate, subscribe, guys. Comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos as well, man. I want to thank everyone that does watch and share my videos. You guys are the absolute best. Listen, it is time, baby. It is time for football. It's time to talk picks. But before we get to my Week 4 picks, let's talk about my Week 3 picks, okay? Let's do some recaps. First off, Eagles versus Steelers. Took the Steelers in that game. That got me a loss. Steelers 3, Eagles 34. Carson Wentz had a day. The Philadelphia Eagles defense is just ridiculous. So, took the Steelers. They kind of got shut down. That got me a loss. Next game, Bears at Cowboys. Took the Cowboys in that game. That got me a win. The Cowboys 31, the Bears 17. You know, Dak Prescott is playing extremely well, and Ezekiel Elliott had a day too. He had 140 yards on the ground. Solid day to him. Jets versus Chiefs. I took the Chiefs. I said it would, be fairly close. I mean, thank goodness I took the Chiefs, but it wasn't close at all. The Chiefs 24, the Jets 3, man. The Jets just played terribly. 6 turnovers by Ryan Fitzpatrick. It was just trash. The whole game plan was trash. The coaching was trash. Everything was trash about everything. The Jets that day. So I took the Chiefs, and that got me a win. So now as we're moving forward into Week 4, because we put Week 3 behind us, man. That was last week. We're moving forward to Week 4 now. Game 1 that I'm going to recap, okay? Browns versus Redskins. Got a lot of Browns fans in my inbox saying, hey, Joe, what do you think about us, man? What do you think about what we got going on here? It's kind of tough. You got Cody Kessler out there at quarterback. I mean, he's not that great. You got Barnage. You got Crowell, who can run the rock. The Browns have been running the ball, decently as of late. You got Coleman on one side, but you got Terrell Pryor, man. This guy has provided a spark for the Browns offense at wide receiver. I'm looking to see them, play really solid offensive football, ball control here. You got to run the ball against the Redskins. You can't turn the ball over constantly and put your defense in a hole. I think that's the name of the game for the Browns in this game. You cannot turn the ball over against this opportunistic Redskins team. Do not let them off the hook easy. Play ball control offense. Run the rock. Help your defense out. Defensively, you're looking at, the Browns may be without Joe Hayden, and they may also be without Tramon Williams. That could be gigantic, man, especially when you're coming in with the weapons that the Redskins have. So they've got to find some way to overcome that. They got to either get after Kirk Cousins. They got to do something. They have to find a way to hold coverage. And again, that may play into your offensive plan as well, where you want to run the ball, take some time off the clock so that you're not putting your defense out there with these two guys that may not play because they both have injuries. You flip over to the offensive side for the Redskins, man. Look, the Redskins have the weapons. They got Reed, they got Deshaun Jackson, they got Pierre Garçon, they got Crowder. They got Matt Jones, a very solid running back. The question is, man, is Kirk Cousins going to show up, and which Kirk Cousins is going to show up? Is the Kirk Cousins going to show up from earlier this year, where he had the entire locker room questioning him, saying, hey, is this the guy that can lead us? If Kirk can just come out, man, and put up some scores, because he has the weapons out there. If he can put up some scores, oh, excuse me, guys. If he can put up some scores and keep everything rolling, man, I really think they can roll. The defense for the Redskins, of course, you got Josh Norman out there. He's going to be on Pryor. I think he takes Pryor away. But you're also missing Breland and Phillips. Those are 2 corners that are going to be out for the Washington Redskins. So they've got to find some way to just get after Cody Kessler, bang him around, get off his spots, and create some turnovers, man. Get some strips, get some different things going on. So with that said, man, I am taking the Washington Redskins. I just have a hard time, saying that the Browns are going to beat the Redskins. It's just tough. And there's no disrespect to the Browns. I know they're out there competing. They're fighting hard. They're 0-3. They're looking for a win right now. But I just don't think they get a win this week. So, again, I am taking the Washington Redskins. Next game I want to talk about, New York Giants versus the Minnesota Vikings. Listen, the Giants are coming in. Odell Beckham Jr., this guy's got to find a way to control his emotions. I know he's passionate, but he's got to control himself on that sideline. I understand him and Josh Norman really have this just intense rivalry. They can't stand each other, but he's got to find a way to control himself on the sidelines. But let me tell you something. Eli Manning is going to have to find a way to get other guys involved in this offense as well. Um, I'm looking at Shepard. He's a nice young receiver. He's going to have opportunities because I think the Vikings defense is going to really focus on shutting down Odell. That's what they're really good at. Taking away your number one weapon, stuffing the running lanes, and just getting after you. I mean, the Vikings defense is coming out to eat. You have to get other guys involved. And one guy that I don't understand what happened or why it happened, or is it the play calling or what's up, but Larry Donnell is a tight end that I want to see get back involved heavily with this offense. I know that him and Will Tye, for whatever reason, split snaps out there at tight end. I don't understand what's going on with the play calling, especially because Donnell is a guy that is extremely effective in the red zone, and that they kind of went away from him in the red zone as well. So they've got to get back to him, man. And like I said, Shepard is another young wide receiver for the Giants that I want to see, definitely get his touches as well because he's going to have opportunities. Defensively, the Giants are going to have to get after Sam Bradford. They're going to absolutely have to. You got to bang him around. You got to, make him run, make him try to make plays outside the pocket, something like that. Because Sam Bradford has come in and played a lot better than I thought he would with the Vikings. So you got to get in his head and make him feel it. Absolutely. You also got to find a way to stuff the run lanes. Even though AP's gone, the Vikings are still a run-first team, and they're going to pound the rock, man. And, I'm going to flip over to the offensive side for the Vikings. Sam Bradford, we know that Diggs is solid. Rudolph is another guy that's going to have a big-time role in this game. That tight end, Bradford loves to go to Rudolph early and often. But I want to see the other wide receiver, Johnson, on the other side. I want to see him get back involved in this offense. I want to see McKinnon and Asiata run the ball. We talked about AP. Hey, he's gone. McKinnon and Asiata filled in last year when AP went down with that big injury. I want to see that just continuously roll, and I think they can do that because McKinnon, especially, is a running back, man, that has the talent. He definitely has the talent to be a starter in this league. So with that said, guys, I am taking the Minnesota Vikings. I think their defense is just vicious. Even though, Sharif Floyd is going to be out for this game, he's a big D tackle, big part of their scheme. They still got Griffin and those guys up front. They have guys that are going to be able to step in and kind of fill the role for Sharif until he finds his way back, off the injury that he has, man. And they're going to get after Eli. And I think offensively, they're going to play very sound offensive, ball control kind of game where they run the ball extremely hard at the Giants. I think the Giants are going to have a hard time stopping that. And I think that Diggs is really going to make his mark in this game, too. He's had a lot of big catches coming up this year. So, with that said, yet again, I am picking the Minnesota Vikings to win this game. Last but not least, my favorite game, your favorite game, our favorite game, the Jets game, guys. Listen, Seattle Seahawks at the New York Jets. Russell Wilson is going to play. Okay, I was hoping. I mean, no disrespect. I wish him the absolute best. I don't wish that on anyone's career, but I was really hoping that Russell Wilson wouldn't play because he's got a knee injury. But he is playing. He's going to put a brace on it. He's going to be out there no matter what. And that's part of the game plan. You got to get after Russell Wilson, and when you get after him, you have to get him down. He's extremely elusive. He likes to spin around and find his way away from tackles. He'll slip right by you, man, and he's deadly when he comes out. And extremely potent because he can do two things, man. He can run the football. Don't get it twisted. He's not a guy that's just shifty in the pocket. He can get shifty in the pocket, get away from you, and take off for a first down or take off for 15, 20 yards down the field. And not just that. What he likes to do as well is once he gets away from tacklers and he gets outside that pocket, man, he likes to keep himself alive as a passer, and he throws the football, and it just hurts you every time. You lose containment on him, he'll get outside, he'll find a guy that's wide open and just start launching footballs around, and it'll beat you for big games. You have to keep him contained. The offensive line is suspect, especially pass blocking. But if they can find some type of running lanes, especially with Michaels, we saw, Andy Reid do a lot of different things last week with the Chiefs against the Jets' defensive line and linebackers as well. Misdirections, counters, swings, different stuff like that. Pete Carroll and his staff is going to have to find a way to try to get a run game decently going. And as far as passing, though, Baldwin is going to be a weapon out there. We've seen the Jets let up big-time plays to receivers, especially Revis, who isn't looking like Revis normally looks this year. Tyler Lockett, I think, is going to be a big-time weapon for them. He's one of my #1 guys to stop. He's a young, speedy guy that once he gets on top of you running that go route, he's gone. He gets a step on you, you're eating dust, okay? And again, we had, the Jets have had small, speedy guys, Gilmore, all these other guys, Gilmore with the Bills, beat Revis the exact same way. Got on top of him, got a couple steps, he was gone. Lockett is that guy. Not just a receiver either. As a punt returner and kick returner, this guy can definitely get it done there too. He'll be gone and he'll put up 6 on you if you don't keep lanes on him. We've got to keep in check of that. Also, hello, Jimmy Graham. I mean, if you know anything about the Jets, you know the Jets struggle to cover tight ends, and Jimmy Graham is right what the doctor ordered, okay? Jimmy Graham, if he's used effectively in this game, because a lot of people have questioned the way the Seahawks use Jimmy Graham. Boy, let me tell you something. They use him correctly this game, he's going to be tough to stop. Again, you look back to last week with the Chiefs, Kelsey had a day. And I mean, there were times when he was coming off the line and nobody was even covering him. Nobody even, failed to locate him when he was on the field. And that was just ridiculous. You lose sight of Jimmy Graham in this offense, he's going to put up points as well. So that Seahawks offense is scary, man. Absolutely scary. Defensively, they can do a lot of stuff too. Their front is stout. I mean, let's just be serious. The Seahawks defense, I mean, they built their team off of, playing solid defensive sound football. And honestly, you almost don't get no better than them in the league. I mean, you got Sherman, you got Chancellor. I mean, LOB, just as a whole, is just monstrous. The defensive line is stout. They don't give up a lot of run yards. The linebackers can cover. It's going to be a tough day out there, and if they can get after, Ryan Fitzpatrick and bang him around, start getting him erratic early in the game, and just kind of take the crowd out of it, it'll be a long day. It'll be an absolutely long day for him, and he'll toss you some turnovers. He's shown you that. Offensively for the Jets, listen, this offensive line has to keep Ryan Fitzpatrick upright. Ryan Fitzpatrick also has to make sound decisions with the football. He cannot get careless. Not in this game. Not in any game, but definitely not in this game. You start throwing interceptions to the Seahawks, and it'll be a long day for you. And they can also return those for touchdowns too. You give up, you give up turnovers and they turn into points. You get buried and get behind, man. The Seahawks will put you away early and shut you up. We have to find some way to effectively run the football, and if we can't do that, we've got to get Matt Forte outside, catching the ball coming out the backfield. We've got to get the Seahawks moving. We've got to get them moving sideline to sideline. We've got to do something so that they can't just, pin their ears back and just destroy us, just come after us, rushing the passer and things like that. We have to get them moving. We have to get them thinking on their feet so that they just don't crush us. I'm also looking for big plays out of these wide receivers. So these guys got to step up. Eric Decker is out. He's got a shoulder issue. Jalen Marshall is out as well. Brandon Marshall's going to play, but he's playing on a bad knee. We all know he's not healthy. I don't think he's very healthy at all, especially if you watch the Chiefs game. He was screaming to Ryan Fitzpatrick and told him, hey, take that play away from me because my knee is jacked up. So you're looking at young guys like Robbie Anderson. We just re-signed Jeremy Ross. These guys are going to have to step up, man. These guys are going to have to step up, and they're going to be playing some big plays. Quincy O'Neal is going to be out there as well, a reliable target. These guys are going to have to make plays out there against probably the best defense in the league. So it is what it is. We just got to have guys step up, point blank, period. Defensively, listen, the Jets secondary has got to step up. They cannot let up big plays. They cannot do this. Revis cannot let up big plays. We've got to play sound, stout football. Get to Russell Wilson, get him on his butt. Don't let this guy get outside the pocket. Keep containment on him. Don't let him start launching footballs all around. Calvin Pryor, I'm sorry, bro. You need to step it up. You're not playing very well so far. Kelsey was destroying you last game. Jimmy Graham is now probably going to be your assignment too. Hey, take care of him. Todd Bowles, are you going to adjust defensive calls? Are you going to adjust defensively to what the Seahawks are doing out there? Are you going to, bring help? Are you going to shut down big weapons? Are you going to find a game plan that fits your defense and works to stop the Seahawks? There's questions at every level with the Jets. Chan Gailey, what is your red zone play calling going to look like? Are you going to forget that Matt Forte exists once you get into the red zone? There's just so many questions for the Jets. It's hard for me to pick them, and I'm not. I'm not going to pick the Jets to win this week, not at all. I think the Seahawks are going to beat us, and I think they're going to beat us soundly. It's going to be a long, hard day. They're going to put Ryan Fitzpatrick in a lot of bad situations, especially playing zone defenses where he struggles. They're going to mix a lot of that stuff in there. And I mean, they play primarily zone anyway, but they're going to mix a lot of stuff up, and they're going to pull a lot of smoke and mirrors, and they're going to have him confused out there, and he's going to get hit often. That's honestly what I believe. So I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks to win this game. I mean, it just is what it is. Coming off the game, that he just had, this is just a tough opponent to come in and play, especially with Decker being out and Marshall being out too. That hurts us, not just at the receiving spot with Marshall, but it also hurts us, on our special teams too. So it is what it is, and I am taking the Seahawks to win that game. So let me know what you guys think, man. Comment down below. Tell me about your teams. What kind of week do you think you guys will have? And hey, let me know what you think about my picks as well. So you guys have a great day, man. Enjoy yourselves and have fun on Sunday.